Next song, Kuch Nahi Hua by Eva B. I am very unfamiliar with Eva B's music. Like I know that she's a rapper and she has songs and I've heard her other, but not somebody I have followed. I'm not sure, but what my image was of Eva B, this song is outside that image in the sense that it seems like a
Interesting.
very
Yeah.
serious, deep zindagi ke masle, relationship, perhaps issues, that sort of anguish type vibes, wala gana. So I don't know how true that is, but it's a great song. Like very mature Eva B vibe. Where previously I thought, oh, she's just like a young, fun person, enjoying her career in music. And
Interesting. I have the exact opposite take on
Acha.
this song, but I don't think that we are actually that far off.
Sure.
So the background for Eva B is that she is, I think, from Liari,
Yeah. Perhaps.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
Karachi-based Balochi rapper. The her emergence, like if you listen to her talk, it's very much like मतलब ये लड़कियां ये काम नहीं करती,
Yes.
लड़के ही हैं
Yes.
सारे, ठीक
Yes.
है, और वो लड़के लड़कों के मसलों के बारे में बात करते रहते हैं.
Yeah.
And so she had these like other things that she wanted to talk about. And so one of the kind of deals that she made with her family in terms of how she was going to rap was that she was going to not show her
Right.
real identity.
Right.
And so that became the kind of whole persona.
Yeah.
And so usually I don't think demographics are the most interesting part of discussing an artist. In this case, because they are such a central part of understanding where she is coming from, I feel it is worth pointing out. So most of her music comes from that background, right? Which is that you are talking about societal issues, specifically
Right.
as they relate to women, and then as delivered in rap format, like they have the format and the genre lends itself to communicating social difficulties in a very particular way. And so the presence of Eva B is interesting because it is a new voice in an existing space, which you wouldn't otherwise have heard.
Right. Right.
Like
Right.
it's very difficult to name a ton of hip hop artists that are female in Pakistan.
Yeah.
बहुत चंद है, and Eva B is probably the biggest of the lot.
And
now,
also,
I
ek to
think.
she a female rapper, and also from like a non-majority community. In
Right.
terms of media representation, which it's not in Urdu, it's not in Punjabi, her background.
Punjabi, हाँ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even I'd say in more mainstreamish music, languages like Pashto are more represented than Balochi historically has been.
हाँ.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
मतलब Balochi we only know because of rap, right?
Yes.
या कोक स्टूडियो पे जो 2-3 आ चुके हैं.
Sure, huh.
Like Cafe, Waqt Chana लाए थे, like like these sorts of like 3 or 4 pieces here and there. हाँ, Kana Yaar is what I mean. But वो लेकिन LUG वही rap ही आ गया ना. So like Balochi rap is the earliest mainstream appearance of
modern mainstream
Balochi in Pakistani pop, as far as I can look at it.
Yeah.
And so so Eva B's presence is important for that reason. Then obviously she like grew really fast, made it a Coke, made it a Marvel. So now she is an established star.
Yeah.
With this song, I actually found the reason I had the opposite opinion to you is because I thought by the time it gets to the chorus, it's kind of almost like a playful sounding chorus. It's not very harsh. It's not it's not combative in a sense, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's actually kind of playful in a way that you can think of it as being almost a romantic song, as you alluded.
Yeah, I was confused because I was like, in my mind, there is some family context of Eva B that I once picked from some interview that she was giving. With regards to how you were mentioning, difficulties in women participating, perhaps from her area or household or whatever in music, and obviously Pakistan mein toh, this is like a general issue for most women everywhere. So that I was like, is this like about just like a friend or a family member? And then the chorus sort of goes into like, oh no, perhaps this is like a romantic relationship issue. But yeah, it was going back and forth in my mind.
And the more I read the lyrics, I think it's one of those things that could be designed to be ambiguous, or in a sense where you could read it to be about a person, but is in fact about something larger. Like it is written to one person, but in fact it is prompting at issues that are much larger, like more societal in nature, which makes sense because that is her general list of topics.
Right.
And if you take the like list of topics that are addressed by hip hop, specifically by like Eva B, then you can see those same discussions being addressed to one person. And whether that one person is like kind of a romantic subject or just a kind of family subject or a kind of, friend, it's almost, it's fine. It could be either. And it's irrelevant, and also the ambiguity is kind of useful. Useful, interesting, and this ambiguity is so present in our culture of music. Like वो तो कवालियां सारी, like they're designed to be ambiguous between आप किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, you know. So I think it's very smart, and I think now in this age, if you are going to write political commentaries, being not super direct about them is actually the smarter way to go. Because who would want to do that, right? Unless you knew you were protected. Especially as a woman in this country.
Especially as a Baloch woman.
हाँ, बिल्कुल. So like आप क्यों करेंगे ये? So I think it could be either, and I don't want to assume intention behind what she is doing, because that's not really our place to do.
And also it's interesting, you know, it's this song, just by being what it is sending us down all these like what could it be kind of pathways.
And that usually is the quality of expresses the quality of the thing where you can kind of assume meaning to it, or put meaning onto something and still find it to be aesthetically whole. So yeah, I'm really excited about like Eva B putting out news. Every time she puts out a song, it is basically like, you know, that it is worth at least knowing what it is. Even if it is not your.
And after this song, I think I'll also certainly make the effort of looking into more Eva B music. Shayad, you know, maybe I've got the wrong idea of her being fun, and तुम कह रहे हो कि नहीं all her songs are about मसले मसाइल.
I think मतलब ये भी हो सकता है कि जो उसका गाना यारी में जो था ना bit, it was actually very fun.
Yeah, it was.
And funner than the other two people in a way.
Kevin was pretty sad.
So I think maybe like that also kind of gave that impression. If you listen to just her solo stuff, it tends to be pretty, you know, fun is not the term I would have used to describe the tone of them.
Acha.